You became a chiropractor to change lives, but no one showed you how to build a clinic that actually works. This is Adjusting the Mindset, where chiropractors start seeing their practice differently and start building it differently. I'm Dr. Charbel, and this is where that shift starts. I want to tell you about a hire I made early in my practice that cost me more than money. On paper, it was a great hire. The credentials were strong. The interview went well. The energy in the room felt right. I was excited. I thought I had found exactly what I was looking for. Within 60 days, I knew something was wrong. Not with the clinical work, that was fine. Something subtler. The way this person spoke to patients was technically correct, but emotionally flat. The way they interacted with the rest of the team created a friction I could feel, but not quite name. Small things. Nothing dramatic. But the cumulative effect was a practice that felt slightly different. Slightly less like what I had been building. It took me longer than it should have to understand what had actually happened. I had not made a bad hire. I had made a misaligned one. And misalignment, left unaddressed, does not stay contained. It spreads. It shapes the culture around it. It sets a new standard, not the one you intended, but the one you allowed. That experience taught me the most important leadership principle I have ever applied. Culture is not what you say you stand for. It is what you consistently allow. Today, we are talking about growth and culture. And I want to start with the reframe that most leadership programs skip entirely. Most chiropractors treat culture as a byproduct of hiring. Get the right people in the room and culture takes care of itself. That is not how it works. Culture is not a byproduct of hiring. Hiring is a product of culture. When your culture is clear, strong, and consistently lived, it becomes a filter. The right people are drawn to it. The wrong people self-select out. And the team you build reflects the standard you have set, not the standard you have stated. Your team did not fail you. Your culture did not give them enough to succeed. Let me give you the framework that changed how I build teams. There are 3 dimensions of culture that every practice needs to understand and lead deliberately. Dimension 1, environment. Your physical space communicates your values before anyone opens their mouth. A clinic that is clean, organized, and intentionally designed signals one thing to your team and your patients. A clinic that is cluttered, rushed, and chaotic signals something else entirely. I'm not talking about expensive renovations. I'm talking about intention. The music you choose, the lighting, the scent, the way the front desk is arranged, the way the treatment rooms are set up. All of it communicates your standard before a single word is spoken. When I built my practice, I was deliberate about every sensory detail. We developed our own candle with 3 specific scents that had personal meaning to me. The music was curated, not random. The lighting was warm, not clinical. None of that happened by accident. All of it was a communication to my team and to every patient who walked through the door about the standard we were holding ourselves to. Your environment is your culture made visible. Dimension 2, language. The words you use consistently inside your practice shape how your team sees themselves and how they show up. Do you say staff or team? Those are not interchangeable words. Staff is transactional. Team is relational. Staff shows up to do a job. A team shows up to build something together. Do you say patients or people we care for? Do you say mistakes or learning moments? Do you say problems or opportunities. None of this is semantic nicety. Language shapes identity, and identity shapes behavior. When your team hears themselves referred to consistently as a team building something meaningful, they start to act like it. When they hear their errors described as learning moments rather than failures, they become more willing to take initiative without fear. Words are not just communication, they are culture installation. I want you to think about the language you use most consistently inside your practice, not the language in your mission statement, the language in the hallway, in the huddle, in the moment when something goes wrong. That language, the unrehearsed, unpolished daily language, is building your culture right now, whether you are intentional about it or not. Dimension 3. Rituals. Human beings copy what gets applauded. If you want more of a behavior, you must name it, celebrate it, and create the conditions where it happens again. In my practice, we have a full team roundtable every other Thursday. Not just an operational meeting, a values-based gathering. We review metrics, we celebrate wins, we identify challenges, and solve them together. And we always include a moment of genuine humanity, a personal check-in that reminds everyone in the room that we are not just colleagues. We are human beings building something together. We also have quarterly culture meetings. 4 times a year, we step entirely away from operations. Food, conversation. Patient reviews read out loud. Celebration of what is working. Reconnection to the reason we do this work. These are not extras. These are the rituals that turn values into reality. Without them, values are just words on a wall. With them, values become the lived experience of what it means to be part of your team. Culture is not built in annual reviews. It is built in weekly moments. Now let me talk about hiring, because everything I have just said about culture changes how you approach bringing people into your practice. The most expensive mistake most chiropractors make in hiring is prioritizing competence over alignment. They look at credentials, experience, and clinical skill first. And those things matter. But competence gets someone the interview. Alignment gets them the offer. Here are the 3 questions worth asking about every candidate before you make a hiring decision. Do they fit your values? Not just on paper, under pressure, when they are tired, when no one is watching. Can they live what you stand for in those moments? Do they lift the room or drain it? Energy is contagious. Every person you bring into your practice will either elevate the collective energy or quietly diminish it. There is no neutral. Before you hire anyone, ask yourself honestly, would I want 10 more of this person in my practice? If the answer is not an immediate yes, do not hire even one. Do they speak in we or in I? Ownership mindset shows up in language. A candidate who consistently says, we, our, the team, they are oriented toward collective success. A candidate who consistently centers themselves in every answer is telling you something important about how they will operate inside your culture. Hire for attitude, train for skill. You can teach almost anything except character. And once you have hired the right person, onboarding determines whether they stay right. A great hire without great onboarding will still underperform. Not because they are the wrong person, but because nobody gave them a clear path to succeed. The goal of onboarding is simple. Help a new team member feel competent and connected within their first 30 days. Because early wins matter. They trigger the brain chemistry of commitment. Without them, even the right people quietly disengage. 3 phases. Days 1 to 30. They are a student. Safety, clarity, and fundamentals. Give them one clear win by the end of the first week. Something specific, something achievable, something they can feel proud of. Days 31 to 60. They are an apprentice. They try. You guide. You correct with care, not shame. Give them one leadership moment. Let them run the morning huddle one day. Days 61 to 90. They're a full team member. They own their role. They begin to carry others. Give them one teaching moment. Let them train a newer teammate on something they have mastered. That progression, student to apprentice to leader, is how you build a team that grows the culture instead of just inheriting it. Let me address the accountability piece because this is where most practice owners struggle most. Accountability in most practices looks like correction after the fact. Something goes wrong. Someone gets pulled aside. The standard gets restated. And then the same thing happens again 3 weeks later. That is not accountability. That is repetition without structure. Real accountability has 3 components. Every role has a clear scorecard, specific, measurable outcomes that define what doing this job well actually looks like. Every metric has an owner, not a department, a name, and performance is reviewed consistently. Weekly one-on-ones where you look at the numbers, celebrate what is working, identify what is not, and set clear next actions together. The goal of accountability is not to catch people failing. It is to catch drift before it becomes a problem and to develop people who solve problems without you. You are not building a team of employees. You are building a team of leaders. Here is where I want to leave you today. Your team is a reflection of your culture. And your culture is a reflection of your leadership. Not your leadership on your best days. Your leadership on your average days. In the small moments, nobody is watching. In the standard you hold when it would be easier to let something slide. In the language you use when you are tired. In the ritual you maintain even when the month is hard. That is where culture lives. And that is where it either grows or erodes. This week, I want you to do one thing. Write down the 3 qualities of your best current team member. The 3 things that make them exceptional in your practice. Not their clinical skills, their character, their values, their energy. Those 3 qualities are your hiring filter. That is your culture standard made visible. Use it for every hire from this point forward. Because the practices that grow most sustainably are not the ones that hired the most skilled people. They are the ones that built the clearest culture and then hired people who could live it. If this episode sparked something, send it to one chiropractor you actually care about. A quick review helps another chiropractor get what they need, and it means the world to us. And if you're ready for more, grab your free resource at pulsepointpractice.com/free.